my studio is on the lower level. It's a walkout basement actually, and I love it because I get some nice northern light. Although it's not enough, I always have to add more light. This is a converted family room, so I'm using the fireplace as a stand for my ironing board. It gets it a little higher, a little more comfortable for me to use. These two carts right here are actually kitchen carts. I think they're from Amazon. And they have a leaf in the back that folds out, so it makes a great surface for cutting and laying things out. And then you can drop that leaf if you want to. I also use these cupboards, of course, for storing vertical things between them because there's a little place in there. I hang some of my rulers on a little screw in there, and I just store all kinds of things that are very important, even though I can't remember why. I have my fusibles, my ironing supplies, fusing supplies, and then I have my kits in some of these drawers. I have more iron supplies, lots of good spaces to put a lot of good stuff. Another class in that one, fusibles, and so on. And that moves us to the view outside, which is really fun, and I'll show you more about that in a little bit. I also was lucky enough to have my daughter rearrange this space and a lot of our house for us this year, and she gave us this desk, which I didn't think I would like, but I love it. It's very, very convenient for sewing on or moving your sewing machine aside and just doing anything you need to do on that desk surface. It's also great to have your sewing supplies or whatever you're using for your class right next to you, and you can see that I have some of my mounts for my cameras and a place for my laptop and so on. I also got from her a great pegboard system, and I haven't really used it fully yet, but it sure keeps a lot of the clutter out of the sewing area. The little cart stores nice odds and ends, and then coming over to my great organizer area, the top drawers are actually drawers from when I was teaching, and I used these for organizing kids' cards for different things or pencils they needed or whatever. But now I pretty much converted it to thread storage. So I go, as you can see by the labels, I go by the color to organize my threads. And then I have some spots for markers and pencils and so on. Then down to these, here I have desk supplies, measuring supplies, sewing machine supplies. I have some of my paints in some of these drawers and brushes. And tools. I find I often need tools to open things or put a frame together or something such as that. My heat tools are all in here for when I'm melting felt or gluing things together. And so that gives you a good idea of how useful this kind of storage is. I'll interject here with another clip I made up earlier of the outside and the view and the inspiration I can get from my backyard. Next to the left of the back door is first my storage area for big pieces, big things like my Timtex and my Steam-A-Seam light and so on. And in those cubbies I have a variety of different things. Some of them are for, hope I don't pull open something that's terrible. Some of them are for my photographs. Some of them are for my printing paper. But the real good stuff, I think, is over here in the bigger set of cubbies, where I have my serger and an extra sewing machine, and my sewing machine from when I was a wee tot and just learning to sew. But I've organized, now hold your breath, and if you don't like to see things that are, shall we say, messy, you might want to look away. I organized my fabrics too by color. And because I cut my fabrics up like Swiss cheese, I generally just store them like this, and I can dump out the whole bucket and look through everything when I need it. Very few things are folded. This is, but it's still kind of mushed. And so that really is a convenient way to find fabrics. I can just take the little cubby out and bring it over to my machine. Also, we have nice storage behind these curtains. So there you see my business cards and my flyers and all kinds of bins and things for my classes that I've taken and things I want to keep. Don't get in here very often, but it's really nice to have a place where I know all that kind of stuff is living. Over on the other side, we have some similar kind of storage here. This is one of my bigger pieces that I've matted and framed, and it's on an easel, so that's kind of permanently there. A cozy chair for when I'm looking for fabrics in the bins right behind it. We have another bookshelf area over here, which is not necessarily sewing related, but it's nice to have a place that's kind of tucked away to keep all of our seldom used books. Nice rocker for when Bonnie gets exhausted. And then finally, well, maybe not finally, but one feature that I really love now, I've never had a board where I can pin up things and design them. And what I found was, now that my daughter has rearranged this space, I had this whole wall empty, and I was able to put up two of my panels from when I did shows. So you can probably see there were two panels are hooked together, or they come together right in the middle. And so it gives me a lot of space to pin things up and use as my design wall. And then right in front of it, I have a big table. And I didn't plan this, but I found that it really works nicely for having things handy that I want to try out on the design wall. I bought this originally, and I bought another one too, because a few years ago I was able to have classes down here, and I thought it would be great to have enough room for several students to sew at these heavy-duty tables, but it didn't really pan out due to you know what. So I guess this is pretty much it. We still have a few remnants of our home family room here. I'm honored to show you this picture. Oh, the light is glaring. Let's see if we can do better. This picture, it says Bonnie Jensen School on it, and this is a picture that was painted by my brother-in-law, Terry Redlin, and I was so honored that he had chosen me and put my name on the painting. He did a lot of that, naming paintings or having people's names in paintings, but I want to say I was probably the first one. And then we swing around some of my husband's collections, and finally the TV, so I can distract myself while I'm doing mundane things. So that pretty much brings you through my whole studio. It's really a nice large space, and if there was anything I could change, I guess it would be take out the carpeting, because it always shows something. So hope you enjoy. Bye.